I've sometimes been asked what is the key skill to learn as a PM. A difficult question, as you need a range of skills. But if pressed, I always choose planning. However, planning goes hand in hand with estimating. So I call this the Bonnie and Clyde partnership of project management. There are a couple of proverbs that reinforce this view. Here's a favourite one about lucky PMs. When people think of project plans, they tend to focus on the schedule, often represented by a Gantt chart. However, before considering this, I recommend that you undertake product-based planning, where a product is a deliverable or outcome described by a noun. So work out the final and intermediate products needed by the project and consider whether you need product descriptions. In many cases, I believe this information can be found elsewhere. The final step in your product-based planning is to undertake the order of use and production of the products. Now, turning to estimation, please estimate from different standpoints if possible and consider your level of confidence. Sometimes it's useful to produce a range: pessimistic, optimistic and realistic. Avoid influence on estimates because of sort of hoped for timelines. As they say, good estimators aren't modest. Returning to the schedule now, the product-based plan and the estimates should enable many of the tasks within the schedule to be populated. Other tasks can then be added around that. Often you'll use a tool such as Microsoft Project to help you produce a schedule, and hopefully you found the exercise in the book useful in that regard. Now make sure you understand the schedule critical path. Those are tasks which, if they slip, will impact the overall schedule. These tasks need special monitoring during the project execution. Now, I've observed that the quality of a schedule typically degrades over time from the current date, a concept I name planner's droop. So you should look to review and improve your plan quality on a regular basis, probably monthly. Now, sometimes this droop is dramatic. For example, in an IT waterfall system development lifecycle where the accuracy of the build and test estimates is poor until the early phases are complete. This is where the use of plan stages is invaluable, where you commit the plan stage by stage throughout the project lifecycle. I'm also a big fan of formal entry gate meetings within plans, especially between technical phases of activity or as a management checkpoint, such as between plan stages. The ultimate example of an entry gate is deciding whether a project can proceed into implementation, and is called a go-no-go meeting. Another consideration when planning is where you use formal work packages. Even when not being formal handoffs, say to another team, I think many of the principles of work packages should be used when requesting any work to be carried out, or even in meetings. Now, I want to stress again that you shouldn't just think of the schedule as the project plan. In projects you need to create many different types of plan, and some I've even captured in different chapters, for example those delivered as part of stakeholder analysis. One that goes hand in hand with the schedule, however, is the resource plan. But when producing this, I like to have the mindset of establishing the project team with the right mix of attitude, skills, knowledge and personality. Finally, as in many things in life, There needs to be a balance. So waiting for the perfect plan before starting work is too extreme on one side, and then on the other side saying, let's get going, we can worry about the plan another day, again is not right. There's a great proverb which sums this up. Planning without action is futile. Action without planning is fatal. Happy planning and estimating.